NHL picks for Tuesday, March 24th. Welcome into PuckTime WagerTalk TV. Myself, Andrew McInnis, Carmine Bianco, Brian Leonard, and Don Buster. We had just one game on Monday, and you guys know what that means. One game on Monday means a loaded slate on Tuesday. We got a handful of games to break down for you guys. Hopefully some prop winners as well. I hope you guys joined me yesterday on the Shesterkin saves prop. Not a great night for the New York Rangers. 9 registered shots on goal for them. That's the fewest shots on goal for a team since 2003. So quite the boring game there, but hopefully we'll get some more excitement in tonight's slate. Speaking of tonight's slate, it is $5 Tuesday. Every handicapper with one play available at least for $5, but I also have a 5% play going. That's at regular price, but you guys can use the promo code SAVE15 to take $15 off that play. Carm, we got a big slate tonight, man. 9 shots on goal for the New York Rangers. Your thoughts on last night?
Yeah, man. Just 4 shots with the second period almost coming to a close, and then they got a few power play shots. And yet the game still finished 2-1. Absolutely amazing. And then Reimer celebrates at the end of the game. He's pumping his fists up in the air and I'm like, dude, you faced 9 shots or whatever. You let one in. My God. But a good game by Ottawa. An even bigger game for them tonight. You and I are going to discuss that up first. But just to let you guys know, Andrew and I are going to do the Ottawa and Detroit game. Buster's in here to do Colorado and Pittsburgh. Brian Leonard, Washington, and St. Louis. A lot of playoff possible matchups or teams that are still in the playoff races. Andrew, you and I are going to finish it off with Vegas and Winnipeg. Some player props from you, a pod from me, and then we're going to close out the show because we got a lot to cover today, and we have a hard out. And guys, if you're in the chat, hit the like button. And if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. It is $5 Tuesdays over at WagerTalk. A ton of cappers with $5 plays. Affordable ones for you. Head over. You can buy one or you can buy as many as you want. I've got one up in NHL, and I'm sure Andrew, along with a 5% play tonight. Andrew, tell me about that.
Yeah, look, it's a team total play. Team totals have gone very, very well, and we're going for 5 straight on the ice. So we went 2-0 on Friday. 2-0 on Sunday. Somehow I ended up taking Saturday off after I broke down the whole slate on a video. Took Saturday off and we went 2-0 on Sunday. So going for 5 straight when the NHL is concerned, and going for 4 straight 5% plays. So let's cash some tickets. Best of luck to you on your $5 plays as well, Carmen. Just to remind people once again, that BOGO special. A few of you guys are still trickling in each and every day, and you're always welcome. We're always going to welcome anybody that wants to hop in, Carm, but here it is. PuckTime BOGO 3-day NHL pack. Myself and Carmine all plays, both of us, wt.buzz/AM or CB. Doesn't matter which place you go to, you're going to get the same deal at both websites. And Carm, we keep on saying it, but we're not really against each other very much. So with a big slate like today, great chance for people to jump on board with us and make some money.
Absolutely. It's a great deal. And there's it's an action-packed week of NHL ahead. Tomorrow's card, not so great, only a couple games, but it's a couple interesting games nonetheless. And then a monster card on Thursday. So a lot of stuff going on. But Andrew, you look at this one, and fresh off a victory, the Sens yesterday, 2-1, second of a back-to-back. And we know that they started Reimer in goal yesterday. So obviously it is Ullmark in goal. And you know that it is going to be one goalie and one goalie only unless there's a problem with him, and there is no problem. And that is John Gibson for the Detroit Red Wings, -125. Total sits here at 6, a little shaded to the over in this one. How are you playing this one?
It's kind of a tough time right now in the NHL to be a contrarian, Carmen. It really is. To go against some streaks and to kind of go against some hot teams. I was lucky enough to do it against the Buffalo Sabres on Sunday as one of my winners there. But when I look at this spot here, guys, I am going to do it because I'm going to jump in on the Detroit Red Wings. I faded them when they were dealing with some injuries. But if I'm going to come on Puck Time yesterday and say there's a chance that Detroit makes the playoffs, I can't fade them the next day. This isn't even really a 4-point game. This feels like a 6-point game. Like, what a battle this could be. We're going to look back on this game, in probably a week and a half and say, wow, if only this team won that one, or if only this team won this game in regulation, how big it was. And, I know we've talked over the years about the back-to-backs not being as significant as we always state, but Ralph Michaels dropped a great stat to us with how fantastic Ottawa were on taking advantage of against teams that are on second half of back-to-back, and how New York's been poor in that situation. And Ottawa took care of New York, but now they fall into that back-to-back spot. Detroit gets to hang out at home and wait for them and watch some tape and come into this one fresh. You talked about John Gibson, Carmen, and that's really the big deal for me. Up until the past few weeks, I have not cared as much about goalie data like I do right now. Last 3 games for John Gibson, a .930 save percentage. Last 3 games for Linus Ullmark, an .871 save percentage right now. So if it's not for the shot suppression that Ottawa is so great at, I don't really trust Ullmark as much as I trust John Gibson. And now you look at this Detroit team, Dylan Larkin, their captain, he's listed as questionable. As well as I do with hockey players, they will play in the big game. If this game was against the Anaheim Ducks, or if it was against the Toronto Maple Leafs, maybe Detroit's not playing, or Larkin's not playing. And I mentioned Anaheim because they're in the West, and I mentioned the Leafs because they're in last place. But, my bet is on Larkin playing tonight. I'll take Detroit to get the job done here. Hats off to Ottawa. 2-1 victory, but it felt like a 5-1 victory last night. But maybe they're going to come in a little fat and sassy here, and Detroit serves up some humble pie. Big game for Detroit. After all that being said, Carm, are you with me or against me?
No, Andrew, I'm with you. One of the things, and I've said it for a while, is it is so tough for teams, no matter how well they may play, to just to make up ground in the NHL standings. I talked about last season, a team that was 8 points back in December and played some very good hockey for the final stretch of the NHL season, or the second half, only made up 3 or 4 points. They had a stat yesterday in the game, and it was a surprising one. The Ottawa Senators are, I think, one of the best teams, if not the best team, after the post-Olympic break, to something like 8-2-2. They were 6 points back heading into the Olympic break of a playoff spot. And after that 8-2-2 run, not including last night's game, they were 4 points back. So imagine you are playing at almost an 800 clip or whatever they are, and you only make up 2 points in the standings. It is tough because we're seeing some of the teams in the East, and they're doing what they need to do. It's hard to make up points in this one. You look at the Red Wings, a couple big wins, and then they get the Bruins. Bruins scored 3 goals in that game, but it was one in which I think the Zadorov goal, a little lucky one that put them ahead 3-2, and then an empty netter. 44-27 were the shots on goal. I think if you look at the post-game analytics, they did favor the Detroit Red Wings against the Boston Bruins in that one. They should probably be on a 3-game win streak heading into this one, and would probably feel a hell of a lot better. I like the Wings in this spot. I'll lay the -125. I get it. The Ottawa Senators look like a freight train, but I think there's some underlying numbers with Ottawa that they're playing well. They're allowing very few shots on goal. So I don't expect Detroit to have 44 shots on goal tonight against Linus Ullmark, but they may not need 44 shots on goal in this one. It is tough in the second of a back-to-back when you're playing a team that is ahead of you or in a playoff spot that you're battling with, to just go in there and dominate. Detroit's not going to roll over and play dead at Little Caesars tonight. So I'll take the Red Wings -125, Andrew.
Here we go. Let's do it. Let's start Tuesday off on the same page here, Carm. I like it. And plus 300 for the draw if anybody wants to sprinkle. But, of course, you and I don't even want it to get that far because we want them to win. Just win, baby, for the Red Wings. And, look, the playoff battle, this is so much fun. Like, obviously, we all look forward to the playoff series, but it's so much fun for the final week and a half of the season. 2 weeks of the season to talk about these big games. And this is why the schedule makers set it up like this, right? This is why you get your West Coast or East Coast trips out of the way, because you want to be playing these interdivisional games, towards the end of the year. So, look, I'm a Canadiens fan. I'm going to have the Habs game on the TV tonight, but I am certainly going to have Ottawa and Detroit on my TV as well. Should be a great hockey game, Carm.
Definitely will be. The next time I see the Detroit Red Wings after tonight, I'm going to be watching a ton of hockey tonight, Andrews. Different monitors, different games. But after tonight, the next time I see the Wings will be on Friday when they are in Buffalo at the KeyBank Center. As I mentioned, myself and a friend, and then our fearless leader, one of the owners of WagerTalk, Johnny Detroit, and his lovely wife will be there. We're going to have some beers pregame. I found a couple places, Andrew. I know we're tight on time. We're going to be tight on time today, but there's one called the Draft Room that looks pretty good. And then there was another one that is connected to the Hilton, both a couple minutes away from Southern Grill or something like that. I have some buffalo wings, some beef on weck. Have you ever had beef on weck? No, you haven't. You're like, what is a weck? It's like a bun that is salted on the top or something like that, but you can dip it. But it is, man, I'm looking forward to it. Let's hope I'm still happy by the time that game is over. Speaking of guys who are normally happy, let's bring in this ray of sunshine, Don Buster. Don Buster. Let's see if he's complaining about the weather again in Mexico while I had to defrost the vehicle again today.
Yeah, no complaints about the weather. And if you're taking Johnny Detroit somewhere in Buffalo, hop in a cab. It's probably about maybe 10, 15 minutes tops, and go to the original Anchor Bar, the place where chicken wings were discovered in Buffalo. And it's cool. It's fairly close to the arena, so take a little time, and that's the place you want to take them for sure.
Yeah. No, I know. The Anchor Bar is good. And I don't know if Johnny's been there, been to Buffalo before. I'll talk to him and see what they want to do. But we're both staying at hotels near the stadium. Within, he's like right there. I'm like a 2-minute walk from the stadium. So you want to stay in that area. There's also a casino there.
I get that. So but with Uber,
I've been known to go into an occasional casino.
So, yeah. Well, I'm sure that's exactly where you'll end up before the game and after the game.
Buster, I told you, I don't know many Habs fans. A lot of people I know around me are all Leafs fans, Bruins, or Sens. You're one of the few Habs fans I talk to on a weekly basis here. Are we going to find a way to get to the first round together?
I don't see why not. I'm not worried about that at all. But what I am,
no.
I mean,
you watching the game with them.
Me and you.
Oh, watching. we may be because I'll be back at the end of April back in Canada for a few months. So I might take a little plane trip and meet you in Montreal. I've got some friends that have tickets there, so maybe I can pull out a favor and get some tickets for us. That's very possible. I thought you were talking because Carmine. I know Carmine said Montreal's not making the playoffs, but I think he just did it for the show to make the show better.
No,
you know?
It was good odds.
Buster, this game here is intriguing, just from the sense of the Caps get the Avalanche get Landeskog back. He's back in the lineup. They get a couple of wins together, looking much better with him. They're so deep down the middle. Are you the Pens went into Colorado with no Landeskog there, and I get it. Landeskog being out is a lot different than McInnis being out, but still a very important part of that team. Do you subscribe to Rapid Revenge? Because they hung a 7 on them. Wedgwood was in goal in that game, got pulled after 3, and the Pens just kept on scoring. And Wedgwood is they're showing that Wedgwood's the expected starter tonight. Maybe they're giving another go at the Penguins against Skinner. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Carmine and I will be talking about that. That was, and of course, I do. I've been on here lots of times. I firmly believe in instant revenge. And that game was on the 16th. But tonight's going to be a great night. If you're a hockey fan, great night. I believe there's 15 games, but I'm really interested in this Colorado game. That's for sure. Colorado are laying like 160, but truthfully, I believe that's the probably right number. I was hoping for 155, but yeah, Colorado have been really, really good on the road this season. Right now, they're on an 8-1 run on their last 9 road games. And they do, as you said, Carmine, they have big time instant revenge as Pittsburgh walked into Denver, handed their lunch, embarrassed them in front of that crowd, and beaten them, as you said, 7-2. This game, definitely, you know what, as anybody that's played sports, when a team does that to you, especially in your home arena, Colorado had this circled right away. They knew they were coming to Pittsburgh within a week. You don't think Bednar's going to have it up on the board just before the game today and tell them, look at you guys, right? You know, he'll be embarrassing these guys. So I expect a really big game out of Colorado tonight. As you said, Carmine, Pittsburgh scored a lot of goals on Wedgwood. They scored 4 goals in 7 shots in the first period. And then, and Colorado just couldn't survive. It couldn't come back from that. It was 4-2, and they just couldn't get that third goal to make it 4-3. So we have that there. I really like Colorado because of that, just the whole setup. Part of that setup too is that Pittsburgh's in this real dogfight for a playoff spot in the East, and what's not talked about too much, this will be the 3rd game in 4 nights for Pittsburgh. So that gives, I believe, Colorado a little edge as well, even though I don't believe that they need it. And truthfully, guys, I've never really been a big fan of the Penguins this year at all, and that's sometimes to my own detriment, I believe. But we actually gave out the Avalanche to our clients, and we also gave out the over. We like the over here as well. We don't usually play a lot of correlation games. I bet you I can count on one hand how many times I've took like Carolina under, Rangers and over, or whatever. But we're taking Colorado and over, so everybody's going to get 2 plays on here tonight. Colorado just haven't been scoring lately, right? And it's proof because they're 3-3 in their last 6 games because they haven't been scoring many goals. I think they get better tonight. I think this is just what the doctor ordered, the revenge part, and they need to play offense. Like I say, because they're not scoring, I really believe you're going to see a more offensive type game in general. And Pittsburgh has been really, really suspect on defense. How suspect, you might ask? They've gone 8 of the last 9 games over. And between these clubs, 3 of the last 4 have gone over, including that 7-2 game. We play a nice correlation game, in my opinion, Colorado and the over.
Buster, you're an absolute gem, my friend. I tend to agree with you on Pittsburgh. Listen, I've been up and down on Pittsburgh all season long because I didn't think they were going to have a good season, and then they seem to be playing well. And you look at them right now, and I know they got wins in like 3 of the last 5, but this is a team that has, in 70 games, they have lost 35 of them. They have a lot of loser points as well, too. I think 16 losses in overtime, I think, for the Penguins, if I'm correct. Let me have a look. I want to make sure I'm correct on that one. Yeah, 16 losses. They've had 22 games go to overtime. Almost a third of their games have gone to overtime. A good goal differential for them on the season, I think, plus 22 as far as goal differential, but 35 losses in 70 games. I just think that the teams behind them are a couple of them are going to pass the Penguins team. It's great that Sid's back, and he's back on the shelf over there. I keep hoping he doesn't whack me with his stick, but I might be on one of those futures of the Penguins to miss the playoffs. And I think Los Kid will probably jump into the chat and say, figures, Bianco's going against my Pittsburgh team once again. But make or miss for you.
Yeah. I think they might miss as well. I think Pittsburgh misses as well. I really do. Because I know us Slilov or whatever his name is. I've lost his name right now. I know he's been Sheloffs. Sorry about that. I know he's been playing well for them, but their defense is just not the best. So unless he's standing on his head all these games, which I don't think he will. But what you're saying, Carmine, about those losses in overtime, I believe, if I could be wrong here, but I think they just won their first game in a shootout. They're like, I think they're 0-10 in shootout, but they beat somebody on the weekend, and that was their first shootout win. I believe it's either the one or two, but that's what's really killing them as well. So I'm with you, Carmine. I think they're a team looking. They won't make it. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's like the Islanders. You don't want to play the Islanders when a game goes to overtime, because I think at one point they were a perfect 10-0 or something like that. But 16 losses in overtime is going to hurt in a couple of ways. Number one, it's fewer regulation wins, which is a tiebreaker. But number two is you're dropping a point. You're picking up a loser point, kind of like the Rouge in CFL. You miss a field goal, and they're like, hey, we're going to reward you with a 1 point instead of 3. You gave it some effort. But with that said, Buster, $5 Tuesdays over at WagerTalk. You're on a great run. Let us know what you have up. Do you have some NCAA, some NHL? What do you got going?
Yeah, Carmine, as you said, $5 customer appreciation day. So I do have a 4% NHL best bet loaded at the site. Also today's the last day. We have that great Major League Baseball NHL deal that we have. We were number one in net profit in Major League Baseball last season. And we're looking for another big year in Major League Baseball. And you get every play, including 5%ers, right to the World Series in Major League Baseball. And in that deal, you get every play from now right out to the Stanley Cup playoffs and NHL. You can grab that deal at our site, Don Buster at WagerTalk.com. And like I said, that deal expires tonight at midnight. So you might, I suggest you go over and check that out. We're going to have another big year in Major League Baseball as well.
Yes, I would be remiss if I didn't say this, Buster. We appreciate you having you on the show. Guys, head over to WagerTalk and you can grab Buster's package.
Yeah, sorry about that last week. I guess I didn't realize I said that until
it's all good.
Oh, yeah. You notice how I made sure I didn't say it this time.
Buster, it's all good, man. Listen, enjoy the temperatures, that warm weather down in Mexico, and we'll see you in April when you make your way up here, my friend.
For sure. Thanks a lot, guys. Best of luck. Big night in the NHL. Have a great day, everybody.
Andrew, another baseball savant.
Am I back in the show or what? Am I back in the show?
Yeah, you're back in the show. Andrew, you left the price on that picture behind you. So
Carey Price. The price is right.
Yeah, the price is right. Yes. The Price is Right. One of my favorite shows. I used to watch with my since departed dad all the time. He used to love The Price is Right. So
I loved it.
And Wheel of Fortune. He loved all those shows, Wheel of Fortune, all the other stuff. Do you know that I actually went to California and was at taping of The Price is Right? And they line you up heading into the studio and in groups of 10. And they ask you a ton of questions, and that's how they determine who makes it onto the show or not. And this lady right beside me, and I still remember her name, Laura Pippin, she got called down, this elderly lady, and she turned around to us. She was the last one to bid, and we were yelling $1, $1, and she listened to us, and she got on stage and then lost. So
I remember my grandfather, he used to watch every single day. I'd love to watch with him whenever I was visiting. And my old man took him to it in California, and he goes, I hate this line. Can we go home? He said, I like watching this better on TV. He didn't even want to be there in person. He would rather be there and watching on TV.
I've got the perfect segue. The Price is Right. This man coming up always has the price when it's right, and that is the one and only Brian Leonard. Bri, What's up?
What's up, Brian?
Talking Price is Right. Jesse from Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad was actually on The Price is Right, got up on the stage and all before he got famous. So, yeah, it's nice to see things like that.
Yeah, no, it's brings me back to my youth. A lot of the stuff that's on TV now is just absolutely fluff. You know what I mean? It's like you're switching channels and they got the stupid Montreal Canadiens on TV. It's like I don't need to see these guys. But I have one problem though. I'm going to tell you guys. I'm not sure who watched the game last night. The NHL does not belong on Prime. Like it is. It's just miserable to watch. It is delayed, number one. No, it's delayed, number one. And then the commentator sounds like he's in a cubicle in a bathroom, like he's talking in a vacuum. It doesn't sound like studio audio. It was miserable. Maybe it's just me, but
I get what you mean, Carm. But to me, there's less ads, less advertisements. There's better like sound and video coverage, more interviews. Like if you want the hockey experience, I know what you mean. The commentators, it's not as great, but that's one thing I like about the paid stuff. Like I know, Brian, in the States, you guys have to deal with that a lot more than we do with the different channels you have to buy and stuff. But for us, the Prime is Monday Night Hockey, one Canadian team on Mondays. I don't know, Carm. I'm a big no commercials guy, and I just like the fact they don't go to commercial because you have to get Prime, right?
I just think, and it's happening to you guys in the States, and you guys in the live chat know what I'm talking about. Where, like for NFL, you want to watch one game, you have to have YouTube TV. You want to watch another one, you have to have the NFL Network. You want another one, you have to have CBS or NBC or Fox. It's just paying 12 here, 15 here, 9 there a month. You're getting absolutely waxed on thing. It's just give me the NFL Network. Let me pay a certain amount every month and let me watch every single game I want to watch. Plain and simple. But it's all about money, man. And it's just the consumer is the one at the end of the day that absolutely suffers. Speaking of which, Brian, you picked a couple teams that might be suffering at the end of the season. The Washington Capitals and the St. Louis Blues. Let's pop up the odds on this one for you, Andrew. I know you're always good at this one, and I'll let you guys discuss this.
My bad, Carm.
And the prices.
Oh, no, now Brian's gone. Hold on a second.
Rookies.
Wow.
This is what we get here, you know.
Someone's been drinking Bailey's. Brian, minus 114 on Washington, minus 106 on the Blues. Total shaded to the over, minus 122 on the 5.5. Right now, it looks like Thompson and Hofer are the expected goalies in this one. How are you breaking this one down?
I wanted to talk about this game because I wanted to touch on when teams get off to a bad start of the season, you tend to forget about them. You tend to not pay any attention. Washington got off to that great start, but they had that time before the break where they struggled. Well, now they're playing pretty well. They've gone 10-7-2 of their last 19. We've got a St. Louis team here who really got off to a terrible start this season. They could have been the worst team in hockey. For a long time, they were when you take a look at goal differential. But since the break, they've gone 7-1-2. So you're getting teams in an underdog spot for the most part with these clubs who are actually playing pretty good hockey right now. Now, their chances are neither one of them are going to make the playoffs. But just because a team is out of the playoffs does not mean that they're going to tank, especially in hockey. These guys are. It's a lot different than it is in the NBA, and which is another reason why I pick hockey over the NBA at any time. But you know, you've got two teams here that are still out there trying to play. And you mentioned Logan Thompson. If he's not the best goalie in the NHL, he's one of the top three. He's been there all year long. And the problem with Washington is, yes, they're very good defensively, but offensively they've really struggled lately. You take a look at their last few games; they've scored 2, 2, 4, 2, 2, and 1 their last 6 games. So it's tough to take a team on the road that just can't put it in the net. I like the way the St. Louis team is playing right now. If you take a look at the schedule, they're the more rested team. They've had the last 2 days off while playing just 2 games in the last 8 days. I wrote this up for clients earlier in the night and put it up for a free play. I said the wrong team is favored in this one. It's getting closer to a pick 'em now, so I think a lot of people are seeing the same thing that I did with St. Louis. But still, that's the only way I would look at this game. Washington's got a great goalie, but other than that, this team has been a disappointment this year. In fact, I believe Ovi, last time he played, it was his first power play goal at home all season or something like that. So that has really hurt them this year.
It's so weird, Brian, because I was talking on a show before doing Puck Time about Alexander Ovechkin, if this could be his last year or not. Mm-hmm. And there's been a lot of people talking on radio shows about Ovechkin has not played or started one shift in the defensive zone this whole calendar year. If I'm Ovechkin, like, you kind of take offense to that, don't you? Like, you should take offense to that. If you're the leader on a team, and I understand that you should know your role and know how good you are, but that is an anomaly as far as hockey is concerned. That is something that is unheard of for a guy that's supposed to be the top player on a team. I get it, he's getting older, but if you're going to tell him, like, hey, we don't trust you at all to play anything in defensive zones, that tells you all you have to know about them. And my favorite thing you just said there is that for Logan Thompson to play the way he has all year, and for this team to really much so be below expectation, it goes to show a goalie can only do so much. Logan Thompson can't go down the ice and score a goal for them as well here, Brian. He's doing everything he can for them.
Yeah, he is. You mentioned Ovi. He knows, he didn't have to come out in the press. He knows that he hasn't been very good this year. And that's got to, it sucks for him that chances are if he does retire, they're not going to the playoffs this year. That does hurt, but still he's had a terrific season for, he's in the NHL. If you're in the NHL, you're still a good player. But the end could be coming soon, and that may help him make his decision in the offseason.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Capitals, because you would think that if Ovi I think he thought and the team thought that they could make a late run and get into the playoffs, but they have 11 games left. They're 6 points back. The percentage has got to be under 3 or 4%, I would think, at this point, of them making the playoffs. You would think he would want to do sort of like the not the Carey Price, but Marc-Andre Fleury, like the retirement tour, one more season where he plays in different arenas and gets his accolades and stuff, and says, this is my final season coming up. It's just off of a season like he's had this year, is he just filling a spot next year for a team?
Yeah, that you find that a lot of times, like in baseball, you got guys that you're at the end of your career when we're an older guy and you can only be a DH. That's sort of like the way it is in hockey. It's obviously not the same thing, but they know they're on their last legs. Drew McCutcheon's had a great career. He got cut and he made the opening roster in Texas, but yeah, he's on the edge, and that's the way it happens. You get old. I'm just glad you guys have not decided to put me out to pasture, and I can still be on the show. And I do want to point out the baseball season starts tomorrow, and the Total Bases will be back on. So you can come and look at me. You think I look bad at 8 a.m. Pacific? Just come and look at me at 6 a.m. Pacific starting tomorrow.
I am looking for Andrew. I am looking so forward, because I'm normally at my desk very early doing notes, checking team sites and reports and stuff for the NHL, and then also for the World Cup of Football, World Cup football, as they say in Europe, but it is soccer here. And I fire up YouTube and I watch, and you got Tokyo Brandon drinking his Fireball, looking like Kramer on that episode of Jiffy, where he looked like a pimp with the hat and
He's the pimp.
Technicolor Dreamcoat thing in the cane, and it's just him and Brian, and Trig sort of keeps it all together. It is such a fun show to watch. You guys do a phenomenal job. We're gonna have to talk to Trig about getting Mr. McInnis out on there, because you had a pretty good baseball season yourself, Andrew. before
be
we
waiting
get
for
to
the
Brian.
invite from Brian. You got to vouch for me. We can do puck time together. We got to get me on the 28 units on best bets last year. I know I wasn't in your range with how many units you make, but I got to start talking some baseball with you.
You know, it's funny. It's like the Wally Pipp situation. Anytime one of us is going to be off, we make the comment, and nobody else wants to bring anybody in because they're afraid they're going to take one of our spots. That's what you run into, and it is a Monday through Friday show. So, if we're on a long season, you guys know how that is. It takes quite a commitment to be able to be here every day. I always say, I go, well, this guy's on hockey. I'm not taking the time off. I'm not doing it. But hey, you guys are nice and put other people on.
Bri, just a ton of stuff going on for you right now. Baseball right around the corner. It's a standalone game tomorrow in MLB to kick off the MLB season. Of course, 12, 13, whatever games in the NHL tonight. We have the Sweet 16 coming up in NCAA. What do you have up on $5 Tuesdays over at WagerTalk?
Yeah, knock on wood. We're still winning in every sport. I've got my top play up in the NHL over on the site right now for $5. I have a 5% in the big dance going on Friday. I've had 2 5% in the big dance so far. We're 2-0, looking to continue that. 16-9 run in hockey, 51-30 or something like that. 54-31 maybe in college basketball. Yeah, cannot complain about anything right now. So if you want to get that $5 play, it's up there. Unfortunately, you're going to have to pay full price for that 5% play. But yeah, really excited about this week. We've been on a really nice run. And like I said, baseball starts tomorrow. I get to go see Rob Vino's son tonight down at the Brooklyn Bowl. He's in a band down there. So excited to see them and getting together with Rob and his family. It's always fun.
Where is the Brooklyn Bowl?
Brooklyn Bowl is down there between what used to be Imperial Palace. What's it called now?
Okay. Where the
little walkway where they got all the shops and everything with it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's cool. That's how old I am, man. I remember the Imperial Palace well before Andrew was born. And your player's card was a piece of paper that was laminated with a handwritten 4-digit or 5-digit number on it. And Imperial Palace would give you 1 point for every dollar wagered, and it would cost you 2,000 points to get a hotel room for free. And I would just bet sports, and you could put a few bets in, and then your hotel was free for the whole weekend. So, but it smelled like pee.
Well, the guy that was at the Westgate made it so popular. He was at Imperial Palace before that. It was Jay Cornegay. So Imperial Palace, if you were a sports bettor, Imperial Palace back in the day was the place you came to Vegas for.
Brian, a quick story for you, bud, because you've been there for so long. When I worked at the Fan 590 and I used to do a sports radio show and a football show, we used to have Joe Lupo on from the Stardust, and he would come on every morning and talk about sharp action. So Joe says to me, listen, come and see me next time you're in Vegas. So I go to Vegas, and I made that mistake of, like every rookie does early on, where you look at the hotel, I'm like, it's not that far away. I can walk it. And then about 90 minutes later, you're like, holy shit, it took me forever to get here. Anyways, I see him at the sports book, and that's when they still had the chalkboards or the whiteboard up, and they would change the odds. And I'm talking to Joe, and he says, what are you doing for dinner tonight? I go, nothing, just here with my girlfriend and I. He's like, he grabs a piece of paper, a pad, he writes this, circles all of these letters on it. He goes, here, eat at Tony Roma's tonight. It's on us. So we go to Tony Roma's. I give it to the guy, and the guy's like, hey, anything you want, it's all taken care of. I'm like, what? I had steak, I had lobster, I had champagne, I had beer, I had wine. Yeah, I took full advantage of it. Those were the days, man. Vegas is not like that anymore.
Yeah, the old days of Vegas. And Joe Lupo, I've always had a soft spot for Joe Lupo because he put me in the Stardust Invitational twice. And now he's up in New Jersey. But yeah, I know we're kind of short on time. Yeah. So that's the end of my talking. Good luck to you guys. And let's get some winners.
All right, Brian, best of luck to you, and good luck with your 5% play on Friday as well, too, my friend.
Thank you.
I'll see you on Total Bases, Brian, and I'll look forward to that very much.
I'll see what I can do, man. I'm going to be in Canada in a month. I'll take bribes.
Hey, it looks like you're listed as questionable for PuckTime next week. I can take bribes as well, so we'll see.
I'll tell you what, once the hockey season's over, I'm taking the next few months off. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Brian.
All right, take care. Andrew, sorry to reminisce, two old people. We're like the Brian and I, or when Prez and I do it, it's like the two old Muppet guys at the theater talking to each other, or whatever their names are. That's pretty much how it is, reminiscing. But Vegas is so different now. Now they just gouge you on everything. Like you order eggs and toast to your room with a pot of coffee, and it's like $90 plus service charge plus a tip. It's just stupid. It is just
look. I've loved my experiences there. I've had so much fun with you and the WagerTalk family at Westgate or Circa or wherever we've been. But you see all these tweets going around during March Madness saying there's no better place to watch a game, and you've just got like 500 dudes standing in a pool watching basketball with no volume, and the screen is like 500 feet away. I don't know. I think my couch at home with two TVs, the volume on, and a couple beers in the fridge is pretty good for me. So it's like I love the environment, but it's also like, do you want to fly a couple hours to go somewhere where it's going to be crowded, bunch of people you don't know, and you got to pay $45 for eggs and bacon in the morning? Like you said, like Vegas is not the same Vegas it used to be. Now, I love the experience of going there, but I think what's changed, Carm, since you were younger is that there's more places to go. Like you were in Detroit with the WagerTalk family at a casino, right? You're going to Buffalo to the casinos there. It's not like Vegas. It's not the only place to go anymore, right? Not the only place to go.
No, it's not. Listen, and that's a perfect segue. If I had to choose, as much as they gouge you in Vegas, if I had to choose between going to Vegas or going to Winnipeg, I would choose going to Vegas. So why don't we talk about Vegas and Winnipeg? Minus 128 on the Golden Knights, plus 106 on the Jets. Totals 5.5, minus 123 to the over. Andrew, how are you playing this one?
Well, Carm, honestly, I looked at Vegas for so long. I'd probably say the last 2 months, the team that's haunted me the most has been the Vegas Golden Knights. But you know how it works. It's like sometimes when you hop off a team, right when you hop off, they get going again. When I look at this, I look at the goaltending data. I look at the last few games. Connor Hellebuyck has an .831 save percentage. Hill has a .918. I mean, that seems a lot more impressive. Goals against per game, last 3 games, 167 for Aiden Hill. So the guy has still been phenomenal. They're heating up offensively. I have a tough time not backing Vegas in this one, but this to me is still a Vegas team. I'm waiting for an outpour of offense. So I would look for potentially an under or a Winnipeg under 2.5 goals. Odds makers have this set at 5.5 for a reason. I'll take Winnipeg team total under the 2.5 goals at a nice plus price.
Yeah, Andrew, I think Vegas is the right play here. And listen, I've been on that boat. You guys know I've been talking about the Vegas Golden Knights. Can they miss the playoffs? And I have a bet on them at plus 1,500 to miss the playoffs. But I separate what I think is a good value bet and what every individual game is. And I look at the Vegas Golden Knights, and they came off of that lackluster game against the Nashville Predators where they lose 4-1, and then have to play the Dallas Stars in Dallas, who are playing extremely well. And I'm telling you, if not for Casey DeSmith, and I said this on yesterday's show, the Knights could have had 5 in that game. They played extremely well. It's like they came to life. And sometimes when you're a sports bettor, a handicapper, you look for signs within a game that a team is turning it around. Now, is that third period something that turned around? They looked phenomenal in that third period. They looked like the Vegas of old. They were all over Dallas. It looked like a 5-on-4 power play for 20 minutes of that game. And now they're going to Winnipeg, and the one, feature or the one thing that scares you against playing against a Winnipeg Jets team in Winnipeg is the fact that Connor Hellebuck is one hell of a goalie. You saw it in the Olympics. You saw when he won the Vezina. But if the team's not scoring in front of him, it is tough for the Jets. And with a couple of losses by the Jets, I think now they're residing to the fact that they're not going to make the playoffs. Vegas is right there. They're in the mix. They could either miss the playoffs or finish in any one of the three positions in the Pacific, first, second, or third seed there. Team with more upside is the Vegas Golden Knights here. I really like that third period. Hopefully it's not an overreaction by me, Andrew, but I think the Knights are the right play here.
Hey, what better time to get going than now, right? If you're struggling, you don't want to be struggling towards the end of the year. You want to get going towards the end of the year. I think that might be the case for VGK. So I'm with you on that, Carm. But I am just very impressed with Adin Hill and what he has done. So you know what? We got a prop for you, and we did well with these save props a couple days ago. We did well with the one yesterday. So I've got one more for you guys here for this slate. And this one's kind of a buy low spot, I'd say here, Carm, when it comes down to it, because how often do you see a goaltender with 21.5 as his number? And Sergei Bobrovsky, the Florida Panthers, they're playing the Seattle Kraken here. And look, the Seattle Kraken are not exactly known for being the most exciting team to watch by any means, right? They're not known for being the team that gets a ton of shots on goal. And that's exactly the reason why this number is only 21.5 for his save prop. This is a Seattle team in desperation mode. This is a Seattle team looking to fire everything on net. And Florida has injuries galore, suspensions all over the place. Their defense has not been great. Sergei Bobrovsky will have to be huge for this team. I'm going to take Sergei Bobrovsky, Bob the goalie, over 21.5 saves for today's prop of the day.
All right. I like it, Andrew. It was a no sweat prop bet winner yesterday with Igor Shesterkin. He played so well. And he's like, hey, guys, do you want to get a shot on goal the other way? Because I'm kind of busy right now over here. He saw more rubber than the highway on the way out of Vegas, Andrew. All right, let's go. Prop bet pod time. And we just talked about this game, but I'm going to make it the pod play anyways. So with that said, today's pod play is the Vegas Golden Knights. Was impressed with that third period. Hopefully they can carry that over into this game in Winnipeg. The Vegas Golden Knights are 10-1 their last 11 meetings with the Winnipeg Jets. Just total domination over this team. A team that I think is resided to the fact that they're not going to make the playoffs this season, while Vegas has a very good chance of making the playoffs now, especially with a win tonight. And I think they get it at -128. So give me the Vegas Golden Knights -128 as your pod play.
VGK. All right, Vegas, get the job done here for us. Let's have a winning night. Nice looking graphic there, Carm, for us. All right, we've got Bobrovsky with the save prop, and we've got Vegas Golden Knights to get the job done. Let's get it done with these two, the prop of the day and the POD for Carm. $5 Tuesday, WagerTalk.com. Carm, people know how great you've been in hockey, but you're taking care of business in soccer. You've got a World Cup package going on, all kinds of good stuff going on at WagerTalk. But hey, there was just one game yesterday, and you know that means you got a ton of games today for hockey.
Yes, Guy. So, and someone asked about this earlier. They said you have a $5 play up, and then you have a 2-pack for $29. The $5 customer appreciation plays can only be one play in a package. So we choose one of our plays, we put it up for $5, and that's obviously discounted for those who don't normally buy plays, or as it is customer appreciation. So 3 plays up. They're all 4% best bets. One of them is available for $5. The other 2 are available in one package for $29. Or take advantage of that BOGO, because Andrew's got a 5% play tonight in the NHL. I will have some soccer, Andrew, up maybe a little later today. I will have it is the playoffs for the World Cup. Bunch of games on Thursday, and then the finals on Tuesday to see who the last 4 European teams are to make it into the World Cup. Let's hope Italy makes it. But I will have one play up, and you'll be able to get it for $5 up until midnight tonight, and that'll be up around 2 o'clock this afternoon. With that said, Andrew, that's it for me, man. You got a 5% play, and I got to mention it, man. 28 units in MLB. That's pretty damn good. So tell us what you got going and close out the show.
Hey, look, 28 units on MLB Best Bets 2025. I was super excited about it. We got a great package coming out, or it is out at WT.buzz/AM. CFL and MLB in one package. Once hockey is over, don't forget about me because I got 2 sports in action all summer long. MLB, of course, is more high volume. And the great thing about the CFL schedule, they spread it out. Games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for most of the season. And of course, some days there are doubleheaders. MLB and CFL into one package. Number 1 last year at the site was CFL and plus 28 units on MLB Best Bets. But as Carmine mentioned, look, it's $5 Tuesday. Look at this deal here. BOGO 3-day NHL package. The 2 of us, you buy that package, you get everything we release for the next 3 days. Join us, guys. Get all of our plays, get all of our packages, and let's cash some tickets. Look forward to a great, great day here, Carm. And yeah, I'm pumped up for the World Cup as well, man. I've got some buddies that were actually, they got tickets at Gillette Stadium, and then they also got tickets in Atlanta. So they're going, they're driving to Boston, parking their car, and then flying from Boston to Atlanta after that. I said, what, am I not going to see you guys all summer or something? They're just going to be, they're going to be away enjoying the games. But it's going to be just an amazing, amazing time for Canada and America as well. So I hope it goes awesome.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it. I got series of tickets for different games. I have the Canada, the only game that Canada plays at in Toronto at BMO Field, because there are other 2 group stage games where we played in Vancouver. But the very first game where they play the European qualifier, that would be either Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, or Bosnia. So I believe Italy will be Northern Ireland. There's only 5 players on that Northern Ireland team that actually play in top flight football. And the game is in Italy, in Bergamo. Then they play the winner of Bosnia and Wales, but it is an away game. And they've got to play there on Tuesday. I have no idea. I would love to see them win. I'd love to see them qualify because I would love to go and watch a game. And do you know, Andrew, the ticket price, the face value ticket price, this is how insane and crazy I am. The face value of the tickets for Canada versus whoever they play from Europe were $1,300 Canadian a ticket, man, which is $1,000 US. That's face. And I am getting offers from companies here in Toronto, that Italian companies that I know, who want to see the game if Italy's there, and they're willing to pay $7,000, $8,000 a ticket. And wow, I don't know what to do. Right. So I know the easy question is sell. And then I got 4 tickets for Croatia as well, too, being played here. And then I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to Kansas City, and I'm going to Guadalajara, Mexico to watch.
Ooh, I didn't know you were going to Mexico. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I might see Buster there, man. I'll have Buster take me in one of those.
It's going to be the summer of Carmine. The summer
of Carmine. And
I will be
doing live audio. I will be live video of every game, so you guys can get some picks and stuff like that,
awesome,
and some fan reactions and what have you. So with that said, guys, please hit that like button. We really appreciate you guys tuning in each and every day. You guys are awesome pucksters. Head over, pick up Andrew's 5% play over at WagerTalk, and guys, just have an awesome Tuesday night of sports betting. We will see you tomorrow. Just Andrew and I discussing a couple games and a make or miss segment as well.